Okay, so if you've got the Square to Square ebook or if you're logged into the Mastery course, you already kind of have a platform for what the basic principles are of the Square to Square swing. And you've got some other drills to help you kind of achieve those principles or get to those proper fundamentals. But this drill is kind of something that you could use in conjunction with maybe the go-to drill, or it can be something that you can use entirely on its own. And you can practice this at home or on the range, and even on the golf course you're going to practice some of it. But the first step that we have to make is we've just got to get set up and go through our kind of checklist. So we're bracing that right leg and we're kind of pitching it in so it feels like it's a bit in a runner's block. And then that's going to kind of, having that pitched in is going to kind of bump our hips left and shift our weight slightly forward with an iron. So we're going to do that first. Then we're going to make sure that we've got the handle set forward close to where we'd like to have it at impact. So for me, that's somewhere around the left hip bone. And actually, before I swing, it bumps a little bit more forward. And you see that from a lot of players, and that's okay. So we've braced, we've set the handle forward, and now our first move back, our first initial move back is going to feel like it's coming from the left shoulder tilting down, and that kind of gets us set back turning. And we just want to make sure that the club face stays square to the arc as we make that move back. So that's the first step. Go through that checklist again and be able to make that first move where the right leg's braced, the handle's forward, we make our turn back with the left shoulder, and we don't do anything with our hands. We just turn back and keep that face square to the arc. If we can do that, then we can go ahead and do the same thing. Brace, set, turn, and then we're just going to pause here. We're going to absolutely stop there at that position in the swing. So this is what I was talking about disrupting the pattern. If I get set up and I get braced and I set and I turn back, but my brain kind of thinks it already knows how to hit a golf ball, it's already got this ideal way to hit a golf ball in mind, it may make some compensating moves up there to try to get back in position to where it thinks it needs to be. So when we pause, a really interesting thing happens. If you go back to this position, you might find that it's really kind of awkward to think about hitting the ball from this paused position. And that's most likely not just because you're paused, but because you've disrupted your old pattern and your brain doesn't really know what to do. And a quick story, I remember when I first started working with one particular teacher, we were working on my swing and I was really happy with where I was going, but I couldn't quite do it when I was out there by myself alone on the range. So we were working on this pause drill, and when I stopped, he'd have me stop and then he'd say, okay, you're perfect, now go ahead and hit it. And I remember just being there like, I can't. I physically couldn't convince myself to hit the ball from there. And I didn't know it at the time, but that's really what's going on. My brain is saying, this is not where we are. This is not where we're supposed to be. So that's a good thing if we're trying to change our pattern. We want to be a little bit uncomfortable there, and we want to be okay with being a little bit uncomfortable, and then being able to learn what we need to do from that position to come through, get a forward divot, maintain the impact alignments, and hold the angle all the way through the shot. So this drill really is based on that theory of pausing and making your brain figure out what to do from this new, better position. So I always have students start with a few practice swings to try to get it done, get the divot forward, get the the impact alignments maintained, and make sure that we've got our checklist going back all taken care of. So the drill is basically this: brace, set, turn back, pause, find some athleticism and really talk your brain into actually making a swing from here, and then turn through and hold your impact position, hold your finish. Brace, set, turn, pause, get athletic, get comfortable, come through. And if you can do that 2 or 3 times in a row, then you can try to do that same thing with the ball. So with the ball, it would look like this: brace, set, turn, pause. Okay, now find some athleticism, find a way to come through, and hit it. So I've got a lot of experience with this swing, more than probably anyone, and it's not that difficult for me to hit these shots from that pause position. But when you first start doing this, I know it's going to be crazy weird and crazy difficult. But again, that's a good thing. We want to be uncomfortable in that position because that's telling us that we're in a new position. And if we've got these checkpoints and we've made sure that we're where we want to be, then that's a good thing. So that's the first step, is to go through those brace, set, pause, do the practice swing, brace, set, turn, pause, do another practice swing, then try it with the ball. And then once you can consistently do it with the ball where you're fully pausing each time, you can go ahead and skip the practice swings and just go to the brace, set, turn, long pause, get comfortable, and then make your through swing and hold your impact alignments. Once you can do that, the next step is learning to do it on the golf course.